Hi, my name is Nur Ain Shazana and I will explain about the factors that can limit the effectiveness of the board meeting in Warisan Berhad. The first point is failure to remove unproductive members. These can be described as people who are not carrying out their duties and commitments, as a board member will greatly give an impact to the effectiveness of board meeting. In addition, the company must have a process to evaluate board performance and making recommendations regarding their future services. By referring to our case study, we can see that Mr. Muaz criticizes the way the project had been approved and monitored. He also claimed that the board had been led by the senior managers in the planning department and had acted not more than a rubber stamp. Here, acted not more than a rubber stamp can be described as a person or organization that gives automatic approval or authorization to the decision of others without proper consideration. This situation can also be linked with lack of appropriate approval in terms of decision making, which then will lead to bigger problems in terms of taking accountability upon the decisions taken.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syamna Fitriani. Now, I will continue with the other factors that can limit the effectiveness of board meeting in Warisan Berhad. For the second factors that limit the effectiveness of the board meeting in Warisan Berhad is avoid micromanagement. Avoid micromanagement means that board of director only focus and give attention to the big project of the organization and put aside the other project that they think are not important for them. Because of this, there are a few projects will not be managed carefully by the board of director. Refer to the case study, we can see that one of the new project in Warisan Berhad only made a short period of meeting and there are no discussion towards the project because there are not enough time to make a preparation and planning for the project. This is because the board of the director didn't give the commitment towards the projects. Lastly, there are no strategic plan. Strategic plan is very important in every organization. Strategic plans will give the clear direction for the organization to achieve goals and objective. The organization will use the strategic plan as a guideline to manage all the project in the organization. Based on the case study, we can see that the board of the director didn't have knowledge to manage the project, and because of this, the board of director cannot contribute in the organization and didn't give idea to make a strategic plan for the project. And because of this, the project has been behind the schedule.
Hi, my name is Nurul Izana Jamita Hamidun and I will explain for the question B, which tell you to assess any two corporate governance issue within Warisan Berhad in the light corporate governance best practices and recommend any improvement you consider necessary to those structure. So for the first issue within Warisan Berhad is issue with the development of the new development store. On number of occasions, the project has fallen behind the schedule, making the costs have been much greater than expected. How can this be happen? It has been criticized by the non-executive director, Mr. Muaz. This may be due to the lack of detailed discussion of the project as the time allotted is very short and none of the board members having an experience and knowledge about the project. So why should we care about the criticisms by the Mr. Muaz? Mr. Muaz, as a non-executive director, acts as an advisor to company which owns the right to help in development within a company through positive criticism, external experience and expertise. Furthermore, he also have the right to oversee the activity of executive partners and help to ensure that they meet their objective. So moving on to the ways that can be recommended for the improvement for this issue is with reference to the key features of MCCG 2017 approach. So the first one is comprehend. Warisan Berhad need to understand and internalize the spirit and intention behind the principle and practices, including its intended outcomes. So the second one is apply, implement the best practice in substance to achieve the intended outcomes of building and supporting a strong corporate governance culture. For the report, the Warisan Berhad also need to provide a fair and meaningful disclosure on the company's corporate governance practices. So why we choose this care approach is this care approach will help generate greater interest in corporate governance best practices and facilitate assessment and stimulate conversation on corporate governance. Collectively, this outcome will raise the standard of corporate governance culture of the market overall.
My name is Zaifani. I would like to explain about the issues arise within the Warisan Berhad. So for the second issues is regarding on how the project had been approved and also had been monitored. So this is issues arise due to the board acted as not more than a rubber stamp for what they wanted to do. Here, the rubber stamp mean the auto approval. It means that the board made the decision without a proper consideration. So this make the issues arise. From these issues, the company also get bad impressions from the investor, as the investor had made assumption and also the prediction that the company will not give a good value or good return or value for money if they still invest in this Warisan Berhad company. Moreover, the company and the board also does not practice the core concept of corporate governance, such as independence and also accountability. So, independent is related with mechanism of minimize or avoid the conflict of interest. Meanwhile, accountability refers to whether an organization or the directors are answerable in some ways for the consequences of their actions. So for the first recommendations, the board of directors must responsible for overseeing the management of the business affairs of the company and also monitoring the performance of the company to ensure that all the plan went or going smoothly. The second recommendation is the board should communicate with the people in the organization, such as the shareholders, before making any decision that will affect the profit of the company. It is because the shareholders is also the owners of the company, so they have the rights to do the decision for the companies too. Lastly, the board also should communicate with the investor at a fair, balanced, and also understandable assessment of how the company is achieving its business purpose. It is to ensure that the companies keep on investing in the company, and then it is to ensure that the investor does not give bad impressions towards the company.